guys. Welcome to the program. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. New data from 2024, just within the last few weeks to month, women continue to be miserable. They're not improving. They're sadder. They're drinking more. They're having more problems. And men are just doing fine because that's what we do. And since we don't have bailouts and since we don't have help from anybody else, we're doing pretty good at kind of keeping up on our own 2 feet. We're going to jump into that. Got a bunch of examples. Well, actually, one of the examples, ironically, was removed from the internet, but we'll still talk about it for a second. Then I got a bunch of stats, a bunch of articles, and some fun things to talk about. Before I jump into that, if you didn't watch the video I put out earlier, I am starting a news channel. All my news topics that are not around men and men's issues are going to go over to a new channel. It's called Odd Man Out News, or OMO News is the official title of it. There's a link down below if you want to jump over there and join me. We're going to be talking about fun things like the liberal media meltdown. CNN is heading to more layoffs. That really doesn't have anything to do with guys. It is nice to talk about and make fun of the liberal women and the feminists at CNN losing their jobs. That's always fun, but that really doesn't have a lot to do with guys, so I will be putting it on the new channel, links down below. So this started out today on my search as I was trolling around the internet to find things to kind of talk about, and I went to Dating Over 40, which is a subreddit on Reddit, and there were 2 posts that I wanted to talk about. Ironically, one was so bad, she deleted it. Well, we're going to still talk about it in a moment. This one was left up, though, and this is a text. I'm not sure who sent this to who, but it was a guy that posted it, and he said, a quick flash of my dating life. And the first post on here says it's a text message between 2 people. The first one says, "Hey, beautiful, how's the morning treating you so far?" And she responds, "I don't know. I'm just so tired to chatting to someone new all over again. It drains me, and it's repetitive. Talking stage, flirting, sex 1 to 3 times, then losing interest, then no contact at all. I'm tired. My social battery is low." And he was pretty much saying, like, this is my dating life right now. And this is something that we're finding a lot of women are doing right now, which is they're dating, they got the butterflies, it's all exciting, and then they sleep with a guy, flirting, and then sleep with him, and then they lose interest and they move on over and over and over again. And guys are like, this is not what I wanted in dating. Now, for the guys out there that just want to be playboys and hook up and have a little bit of fun, maybe get an STI and then move on with their lives, this seems to be doing very well. The second story I had is now deleted, and this is again in Dating Over 40, and it says, "I'm the problem. How honest should I be?" And then it says, "Sorry, this post was deleted by the person who originally posted it." But what she had posted was, after 16 years of being single and just doing one-night stands and just hooking up with, a guy after a couple of dates over and over again for 16 years, I'm tired. I find that I don't feel that I'm very good looking in the mirror, and I'm kind of ashamed of everything I've done. Obviously, they were very ashamed because they deleted it. And I was going to kind of read down through it and talk about it, but the point is very clear. Women right now have been given so much freedom, so much opportunity, so many advantages. They can do whatever they want. And I don't have the actual poll of the past, but it shows when more women were moms and more women had kids and the husband was the income earner dating back to the 50s, women were, for the most part, very happy. And then as they got more freedom to do whatever they want, they become less happy. And I remember, I'm going to relate this to a dog trainer, which is going to make very many women unhappy because I'm comparing the two. But I remember when a dog trainer, when I took my dog, Walker, to get some dog training, he said, dogs and children, he didn't use women, but it's obvious it kind of fits women now. He said dogs and children need boundaries. They need to know what's okay and what's not, because if they can just do whatever they want, many times they'll do things that are detrimental to themselves. They might run out in traffic and you're calling them and trying to get them to come to you. You're trying to keep them safe, and they will go out and get themselves in trouble and get hurt or ended. He said kids are like that too. You can't let a kid do whatever they want because they become brats, they could become spoiled, and ultimately they become miserable. Now, this I can attest to because I have two nephews that were pretty much given free rein as kids, and now both of them are sitting in jail. They had too many freedoms and they kind of went crazy. Well, women seem to be having that same problem. Chapter 1 from Psychology Today, Why Women Can't Find a Good Man. Jump to the next chapter with the included timestamp if you've heard it all before. Well, this is a news story just from May 29th from Psychology Today, Why Women Can't Find a Good Man. And they say, why are women frustrated with dating? We have our opinions on this, but let's hear it from the professionals, and then we'll talk about it. Dating and relationships have always been hard. In this day and age, however, they can sometimes seem impossible. Particularly, women I speak to say they can't find a good man. They lament over the guys that they say are stuck in childhood. That'd be men like me that play video games and ride motorcycles all day and enjoy my life. They say not taking responsibility for their lives. They complain about the men they call the nice guy pushover types who don't stir passionate feelings. They also have a difficulty with men they label as attractive jerks who disrespect them, ignore their needs, and break their hearts. Okay, so these are labels we talk about men, right? We've got the guys doing their own thing, which are just, we'll casually go on a date if the opportunity arises. But other than that, I'm not looking to be super serious, and I'm just doing my thing with my guy friends or whatever. Those are the Peter Pan guys, the guys that aren't growing up and doing the proper thing. Then you got the nice guys or the blue pills. They don't stir passionate feelings. They're nice. They're okay, but they're not exciting to the women. And then you have Chad, the Chads, the alpha males, right? They're labeled attractive jerks who disrespect them, ignore their needs, and break their hearts. But if you put a pin in that and you say, well, they're disrespecting the women and they're ignoring the women's needs, then how are these women getting their heart broken? They're chasing the alpha male widows, right? They say, so what's going on here, having all the good men blown away? Personally, I would like to offer an alternative hypothesis, one where women have been put in a very unfulfilling double bind. I would like to posit that cultural and biological factors have been pitted against each other, leaving women in a no-win situation much of the time in modern life. They say there's more than one kind of love. In her book, Why We Love, author Helen Fisher describes 3 types of love. There's desire, and that's feeling, sexual desire. Attraction, which is feeling appeal, allure, and motivation to pursue and choose a partner. And then there's attachment, feelings of bonding around sharing a home, parental duties, mutual defense, safety, and security. Each of these 3 types of love can have very different origins and be independently expressed towards different people. For example, one woman might find that she desires after one partner and is attracted to him and secretly attached to another. Another woman might use a desire after one man, be attracted to a second, and feel comfortable and attracted to her partner only. This is pretty much what we've discovered over the years, but having a psychological, article from Psychology Today written about it is more verification that we're actually correct on the topic. So you have desire for one guy. Then you have attraction, which is appeal, allure, motivation to pursue and choose another as a partner. And then you have attachment, which is actually wanting to have a home and a family. And women are trying to do this with 3 different guys in many cases. This is why you see women out there that say, I have a husband and a boyfriend, but also I want an open relationship. These are women that say, I have a boyfriend and a husband, but I have a bull or a lover or a cheating thing on the side, because that's the desire. And women are so selfish now, they won't find this in one man. Now, women will say, well, I want that in one guy, but he doesn't exist. And that's true, because the guy that can go out there that's attractive to them is a top 5%er or top 10%er. He's the attractive one to them, but he's not the providing type. He's not the attachment type. Those women want that with him, but he doesn't need to because he is so far out of their realm. They're dating men that are way too high quality for them because they feel like they'd settle otherwise. They say each of these types of love can have very different origins and be independently expressed toward different people. For example, one woman might find that she desires her partner, is attracted to him, and secretly attached, perhaps the ideal. Okay, I read that. These differences in who we desire, are attracted to, and feel an attachment towards arise because each feeling has an independent origin. Desire and attraction are often more deep-seated, primal, and uncontrolled feelings. Usually it is impossible to choose to be turned on or attracted to a partner. These feelings are more likely elicited automatically from a certain cues in a partner. For women, these attractive male cues may include physical attractiveness, social status, economic resources, ambition, industriousness, stability, and intelligence. That is top 5% material. It used to be it was a little better than a woman, but now because of women's standards being so incredibly overinflated because of feminism, they're all attracted to the same men, the same top men. They say attachment, however, can often be more of a conscious choice. It's possible to decide who to share a home with and pick someone particular based on safety criteria. Therefore, attachment decisions are often greatly influenced by social norms and cultural practices. Think of the wish list some women have for their perfect partner. These are the women that hit their 30s. They can't get the other men anymore, and so they say, I now need to settle down. They look for a guy that's stable, that's nice, that's well-meaning, that will sometimes put her up on a pedestal and treat her well. But the two are not, you notice that's a conscious decision versus the subconscious one of wanting the unavailable guy. They say the modern dilemma. Here again, I posit that at least some of women's frustration in modern dating can be explained through a double bind. Particularly, this double bind occurs between the type of men that women find attractive and the type they choose to attach to. Well, they want to attach to one, but that guy's not going to attach to them. So they go down and explain a little bit more about it, but you can see that it's not the same guy. Chapter 2. Why are single men so happy? And then you move over to the men's side. Now, are men chasing after women that are out of their league when it comes to looks and then sleeping with them and then wishing they could be married to these women? No, that's not happening. What men are doing is, yes, men are chasing after those women. Yes, men want to sleep with those women. And even if they do, they know it's a brief fling. They might want to date them, but they're not chasing after them. And unlike something that women do, which is when a woman has slept with multiple 5 or 10 percenters, that becomes her new norm. If a guy's going around and sleeping with supermodels all day, but they don't want to date him long term, he probably understands that. He knows, okay, I'm just getting really lucky here. Something's gone right in my life. Because when men look to settle, they're not just worried about her looks. They're not worried about her financial status. They're not worried about her social status. They're basically worried about her looks. Is she nice to me? Does she treat me well? Will she not cheat on me? Does she not lie to me? Does she respect me? So that is a whole separate thing. But because that is so unobtainable for so many men, instead of trying to chase after that for the rest of their lives and instead of trying to make that their thing, most guys are saying, you know what, this isn't maybe for me. It's not working out for me. I'm just going to be single. And they settle into that. This is written from 3 days ago from MSNBC, from MSN. They say 15 reasons men actually like being single. So they say, number 1, independence. Older men value their independence a lot. It allows them to make personal decisions and live by their own rules. They appreciate the freedom to act without considering a partner's tastes or needs. The freedom supports feelings of self-sufficiency. It shapes a lifestyle marked by individualism and personal authority. That's stoicism. Now, you can call it Peter Pan syndrome, not wanting to grow up and not wanting to take care of somebody, but men look at it like I like what I like. I want to do what I want to do. And too many times women look to their men for their entertainment. I'm bored. Let's go do something. Men don't say that. Men, I do not know a man that has said, I'm going to call up my wife and see if she wants to do something. I'm bored. I know women that do that all the time because men enjoy doing activities that are not social and they're designed about other things, other intellectual stimuli. For example, I love working on computers. I got into making videos because I enjoy it. If I don't see somebody in some cases for days, I'm fine. I'm not bored. And some people make fun of video games. I don't care. I enjoy video games. I play video games. I listen to music. I work out. I do something on the farm that I'm trying to build. I'm insulating a wall or building, a new something. I'm always finding something to tinker with. I've never seen a woman that will just go from sitting down to standing up and saying, well, I'm going to go build an outhouse. Well, I'm going to go insulate the barn. Well, I'm going to go whatever. Sometimes they'll paint, but that's not a normal occurrence. Where guys going out there just to do their own thing is quite often the norm. They say fewer responsibilities. Being single at an older age often means fewer responsibilities associated with committed relationships. Senior men, and they're saying senior men, but I think this goes towards a lot of guys that are mid-30s and up, which is not senior in any way, shape, or form. Senior men like the simplicity of their lives without complexities like joint decision-making, financial commitments, or taking care of or caretaking responsibilities. This boils down to kind of the same thing that was before. Do I have to entertain her? Do I have to go spend money on her? Do I have to go do something I don't want to do because she wants to do it? You guys that are married or have been married, you know that is a thing. That you're often doing things you don't want to do, and you know she's going to throw a temper tantrum or be grumpy with you or not want to talk to you when you don't want to do what she wants to do. But when you want to do something and you want her to join and she's not happy about it, can you be grumpy? Can you treat her like crap even though the tables have kind of been reversed? No, she's still going to be the unhappy one. So if you don't do what she wants, she's unhappy. If she doesn't want to do what you want, she's unhappy. It's always her unhappy. By getting rid of that, you find that much of your time can be spent doing things you enjoy. Financial stability. I don't even need to read this. We know women spend money. I will read it, but we know this. I live a very simple lifestyle. I don't need the newest shoes because my shoes are functional. I don't need new clothes. My clothes are functional. I don't need anything. But it seems oftentimes women want new clothes, new makeup, the latest new thing. They say many men feel that being single allows financial stability. They can handle their finances wisely and independently without marital financial burdens. They can effectively and independently plan for the future. Financial management isn't a joke when it comes to the expenses of a household and family members. A stable income for a typical household needs stability in income sources. So to avoid extra costs and keep things the same, some men prefer not to add a partner to their lives. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Fewer emotional ties. Many single men might feel their emotional well-being is better without the distractions of romance. They can cultivate a quiet mind, free from close relationships, complications, and probable disagreements. The emotional highs and lows that romance brings may reduce stress. I don't know, they say the emotional highs and lows that romance brings may reduce stress. That doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe avoiding them, it does. They say it helps one focus on self-care and personal betterment. Me, the first part of all that is usually what's best, a quiet mind. A lot of times, guys just like to sit and think. There's been many times, and I know you guys are the same way, I might be playing, Elden Ring. I might be watching a YouTube something on whatever topic. And while that's going on, I'm quietly working on my next thumbnail for a video. I'm maybe, cleaning something, i.e. something like this. I might be cleaning that, right? While I quietly listen to something. But it's peace of mind. One thing I've never find any time that I've had a relationship is when I'm directly speaking to or listening to that woman is peace of mind. I find many times I'm like, okay, are we done talking yet? Like, because I don't care. I don't care whatever the topic is you're talking about. I just want quiet. I just want to relax. And I know that's definitely a dude thing. Career, guys pick jobs over romance. That's pretty much a given. They say single men see as a chance to grow by themselves. Without a relationship, they have time and freedom. They can look within, think deeply, explore their interests and values. Me, I took up motorcycle riding as a young guy, and I love it. And I don't need other riders. As a matter of fact, many times I don't want to go with other riders. I just want to be with myself, by myself, on my motorcycle, relaxing. It's kind of my moment of zen, is just riding motorcycle. I find that those are periods of time where I can grow and be at peace. A healthy lifestyle. They say a lot of guys make healthier choices. Being free from relationship lets them be independent, which means they don't have the fancy restaurants she wants to go out. We don't need the big buckets of popcorn when you go to the movie theater. She's not cooking and making desserts for you. I've always found that when I'm by myself, it's easier for me to lose weight in most cases. When you have a girlfriend or somebody that's really either trying to keep you fattened up because of mate guarding, or she's learning how to cook or wants to learn how to cook, and you're the taste tester, as it were, it's pretty easy to gain some weight. A strong social life. This is one I think that a lot of guys kind of forget about. It means that single status gives freedom to keep friendships strong. How many times have you guys been in had a good group of friends, and then you start dating, and now she is your world, and then your friends move on, and you kind of become tied to her, and when she goes away, you feel like you've lost all your friends. Well, if you never get in a situation where you're tied up, you can keep much better relationships with friends. It's a trope. You see it in movies and TV shows. The guy wants to go out and play golf with his friends, and she wants to complain because he didn't take out the garbage and he's not doing something around the house, or she's bored and she wants him to stay home and hang out with her. I say a past relationship, tough, bad relationships and breakups makes them scared of love. That makes sense. Cultural and social norms, not sure if I agree with all that. Lack of interest in marriage or long-term relationships, that's self-explanatory. Look at my channel. Casual dating, that's great. A lot of you guys out there that are still having success in dating, you're just enjoying a woman for a weekend or for $300 or for something else short term and then moving on. Parenting, you don't have to worry about parenting. Love of adventure. This one for me is a big one. Many of you guys know I went to 36 different countries. I traveled all around the world in about 15, 16 months. It was the best period of my life, bar none. I loved it. I had a backpack. I spent 30 days, just 30 days hiking around Iceland. Hitchhiking, sticking my thumb out, sleeping in a tent on the side of the road. It was an awesome experience. You can't do that with a woman. In very rare circumstances. Most women will not put up with that. I was bathing in 4 degrees Celsius water, which is, 38, 40, 42 degree water that melted and ran off a glacier. That was my bathtub. I know a couple of women that might do ice baths, but I don't know one that wants to do that as your only means to wash yourself up. So my love of adventure, that's a big one for me. They're just happy being single. So there's some examples of guys. So yes, women, you see all these articles about women being happy, being single, but then when you boil it down, it ends up being someone like Yana Hawking or some of these other women that are playing the hookup culture. Where guys that are single, most of us are truly single. It's not doing the hookup thing. And like the article or the post that earlier that was deleted, she was saying all she's doing is hookups, and she's been doing that for 16 years. That's not a happy person, thus why she deleted her post. Chapter 3. Single men are as happy as married men. Single women are miserable. This is from the Institute for Family Studies. Who's happiest? Married mothers and fathers per the latest general social survey. Now, I'm not going to read down through the whole thing, but they do have a graph here. Women's happiness by marital status and children. Now, you notice this says women's happiness. And it shows here that not too happy of married women is 16%. Not too happy of married women with children is only 12%. But when you move to unmarried women with no children, 25% are unhappy. And with children, 23% are unhappy. It's almost double the numbers for women that are married. Women are happier with somebody. I don't know if they have, here's men's happiness. Okay, here's men's happiness. Married with no children and children, pretty close to the same, 20 and 15%. But married with no children is 20% are unhappy. Unmarried with no children, 21% are unhappy. So in both cases, whether they're married or unmarried, 20% of men are unhappy, basically. If they have children, they're a little bit more happy. And unmarried men with children, 36% are unhappy because there's a lot of social pressure on single dads. But if we come up here and look at the women that are married with no children or children are both happier than the men that are married, and they're happier than the single men. It's the unmarried women with no children or children that are the most miserable. So, interestingly, married men, unmarried men with no kids, about the same happiness. Married women, unmarried women, vast differences in happiness. The married women are much happier, with or without kids. That's pretty telling. It's telling you single women are not doing so well. Single women with children are about the same as single women with no children, which means women in general are just happier being married. I'm not going to read down through this. That was the main takeaway from that one. Chapter 4, the female happiness paradox. They say the female happiness paradox. And this is from a study. It was published by David G. Blanchflower and an Alex Bryson. They say using data across countries and over time, we show that women have worse mental health than men in negative affect equations, irrespective of the measure used. Anxiety, sadness, fearfulness, loneliness, anger. They have more days with bad mental health and more restless sleep. Women are also less satisfied with many aspects of their lives, such as democracy, the economy, the state of education, and health services. They're also less satisfied in the moment in terms of peace and calm, cheerfulness, feeling active, vigorous, refreshed, and rested. However, prior evidence on gender differences in happiness and life satisfaction is less clear-cut. Differences vary over time, location, and with model specification and the inclusion of controls, especially marital status, which is what I just read above. We now find strong evidence that males have higher levels of both happiness and life satisfaction in recent years, even before the onset of the bug. As in the past, women continue to have worse mental stability and health. A detailed analysis of several data files with various metrics for the UK confirms that men are now happier than women, and the size of the effect is not trivial, meaning it is large. Now, here they have the full study, and this was released, when did this come out? 2024, February 9th of 2024. So here we are with just a few months ago, and women, now this is from the UK, but women in general have less life satisfactory across the board. And it's not just with the personal things, which we talk of, anxieties and fear and sadness, loneliness. They're also less happy about democracy, the economy, the state of education. They're basically less happy about everything. And that's because women are emotional creatures. I have no ill will towards women because they're more emotional. I think we all understand that. And many of us like that about women. I like when, somebody I love or someone that's important to me is excited. It's a good feeling. And when you can make that woman excited or happy, that's awesome. But when you can't, it can also be very frustrating. And so women are almost like an alpha wave. Not a true alpha wave in the sense, but they're what they call an A-type personality, which is a very aggressive. They're very happy, then unhappy, happy, unhappy, happy. And that bounces around a lot. A lot of guys are kind of flatline, like myself. If I see something that's amazing, go out and watch, I don't know, fireworks for the 4th of July, and it's a really great firework display. If somebody said, well, how was the display? Oh, it was really good. Like, it was beautiful. It was one of the best I've ever seen. But I don't feel anything in my chest. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel anything. And if something happens where you go out and it started raining and you missed the event, but you were kind of looking forward to it, how was the event? Oh, we got rained out. You know, it didn't turn out so great. They didn't even let off any fireworks. I don't feel anything internally. It's a thought process. But the women that I know are either really excited because it was awesome and they took a lot of pictures and they want to tell their friends and they want to share it on social media, or it was bad and now they're unhappy and they're really bummed out because they were looking forward. You know, it's kind of that thing. So it seems that that's the paradox, is that women are supposedly happier and they have moments of being happier than men, but they have a lot of moments where they're not as happy. So the good takeaway about this is that guys overall, we're good. Like if you look at my thumbnail, where is it here? If you look at my thumbnail, women are becoming more miserable. Now, you notice I didn't put men are doing great. We're not necessarily doing great. We're doing better than women. And I think even unless a man's in a really dark place, which, you know, sometimes guys can head in general, if you ask most men, how you doing? They'd be like, yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm fine. And that is the baseline for men, is there's not a whole lot that's exciting, not a whole lot that bums them out. They're doing fine, and doing fine is okay. Where women, they tend to have the very high highs and the very low lows, and no matter what the topic is, they seem to be miserable about it because they're using their emotion and not their logic to determine how the world is treating them. And most of the time they feel they're just not doing very well. So for you guys that are kind of having in a rough spot, the good news is you'll bounce back. Oh, that was another thing. I don't think I have the article opened, but something they said is that when a man has something bad happen to him, he very quickly returns to baseline. And that's the word they used for it, was baseline. So my baseline might be a 5 in life, and something happens, like my father passing. That takes you down to 1. But within a week or so, maybe a week and a half, I'm back up to 5. I miss my dad, but I'm back up to 5. It's life as usual. I know of a couple of women that have lost a father or a mother or a parent, and they were kind of close to my age. They were devastated. Like, they would talk about it 6 months, 8 months later on, about how they miss, the family, and, oh, I remember when I did this and it was so good. And they worked themselves up into a state of, I don't know, like sadness, or they work themselves into finding a problem or finding something to feel bad about. And so they have a much harder time returning to baseline. Well, in today's world where the economy's bad and social media is crazy and everything's all up in arms, guys don't move too far away from baseline, where women are all over the place. And I think it's taken an emotional toll on them. And at the end of the day, I think they're going to burn themselves out, where the guys will just be okay. So if you're a younger guy and you feel things aren't working out so well for you, the best advice I can give is hang in there. Just hang in there. Yeah, it's going to be kind of rough for a little while. You'll bounce back. You'll find the new normal. You'll stabilize. You'll be fine. It's going to be rough for a little while. You'll be fine. In the meantime, women aren't able to do that. And in the longer things go into kind of chaos and world tumultuous events, men are going to be pretty much okay, and women are just going to get worse. And if you don't believe that, look at the drinking statistics on women. Guys, if you like my work, join me on betterbachelor.locals.com. That's so we got a great site over there. We share lots of information we can't share here on other channels. Or follow over at Rumble if you're here on YouTube. Don't forget, I do have my OMO News, which is my news channel. Links are down below if you want to find me doing news stories that I used to do here, but I'm going to move the other stories off to the other site. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. We'll see you in the next one.
you.